Hey everybody, it's time for the second real life superhero costume intro with a brand new costume with the same 2013 plus and before retro sweatsuit with zipper, without sweat jacket, with or without sweat jacket, t-shirt white t-shirt with sayings and imagery on them, and with or without blue trunks over the gray pants. Like I said, in these daytime intros, those trunks, I didn't feel like wearing them, so they won't be featured here. And this is the same as the Douglas Blair Roberts YouTube social media personality based intros and the old videos from those years. But the difference is, like I said, difference between this and those newer intros for that page, I'm wearing the regular size New Balance footwear with tape. This is my taped up high top Nike footwear from that time period. I have everything from that time period except for the actual two shirts, which, like I said, I'm not sure if I have those two shirts anymore. So with that being said, this is the same thing, only this time it will be the Sonic It Doesn't Matter and Jeff Hardy's theme. So with that being said, let me get started right now. Hey everybody, it's now time for my part 2 real life superhero off camera review of and rant of the 2016 Mantle produced film Max Steel. Yeah, this film, I like it, but this film sucks so bad. It doesn't deserve me wasting time getting in position down there on the floor, standing by the window. That's how bad this movie was. Hold on for a moment. Gotta put on my shades. Yeah. Yeah. Max Steel. Max Steel was Max Steel. Now, firstly, the first issue I had with the film was the marketing. If you're making a Max Steel film, it should be the biggest and best thing ever. Instead, this was some low budget indie superhero based movie devoid of any life. I got Twilight and Amazing Spider-Man film vibes from this. Amazing Spider-Man film vibes. And now Twilight, that style kind of fits Twilight, and it got better in the sequels. They got better with that style in the sequels. The Amazing Spider-Man, they tried that style for the first one, and it didn't work out, and it was atrocious, and I was getting vibes there. I would still put this higher than the Amazing Spider-Man, even though this is probably worse than the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, because I'm more of a Max Steel fan and I am a Spider-Man fan, and I like Max Steel more. But yeah, this film was terrible. But the marketing, I didn't even know about a Max Steel movie. I heard about it a year later, 2017, when Double Toasted, Corey and them were doing their worst movies list, and they listed Max Steel, and I'm like, Max Steel, the television series? And yeah, there it was. I'll give them points for. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Max Steel television. I'm like, whoa, and it looked okay. I wanted to rewatch the television series first, and did the setup's review. But you know how it is. I never get around to doing that, and I just badly want to see this film. And because the marketing was so bad, the movie flopped. And because the movie flopped, there will be no more sequels. There will be no more sequels, and probably not another Max Steel film for a long time. So yeah. Number 4, it's different from the source material. Everything appears to be different from. It's been a decade since I watched either cartoon, and it's based on the 2013 cartoon. And in that cartoon, I remember that being a G.I. Joe inspired cartoon with Max Steel and another team of enhanced super beings like himself fighting evil and fighting various threats. That's what I meant. That's what I remember the cartoon being. This is about some military hunting down Max Steel when Josh McGraw comes into contact with the Max Steel equipment and power, and becomes Max Steel himself. Which that's the next problem with this film. Before I get to problems, the more positives. Max Steel looks how he was. I immediately recognized that it was a Max Steel movie. So you at least got Josh McGarth, Max Steel, and Max Steel and the robot. Which, by the way, the robot and the villain, Andy Garcia's character Claw, appear to be the only people who were actually into the film. The guy, he was a good look for Max Steel. The guy playing him, he was from Disney Channel's Ant Farm. He was a good look for Max Steel, but acting wise, he was terrible. I was getting horrible Andrew Garfield. Vibes, and because of him, I struggled to get through the film, which brings me to the next thing. It took 39 plus minutes for this to officially start, for him to get the training, to preparing, to get used to, they learning how to use the Max Steel power. It took 60 minutes for Max Steel, the suit and everything, to finally appear. Now, I love journeys like that, but you got to develop it and make it good. And here it wasn't. And here it wasn't. All of the best scenes were the Max Steel scenes, the action scenes, followed by the training scenes, and 3 or 4 everything else. Then, speaking of the action sequences, they film everything in the dark, just like Thor 2011. So it makes it difficult to see what's going on. Next, going back to the acting, I mentioned the main actor playing Max Steel was I mentioned him being weak. I mentioned him being weak and devoid of life. The other actors, excluding Andy Garcia and the guy voicing the Steelbot, they phoned it in. They just were not into this. This was like some bland indie superhero film, and that's why it has a 0% on the Rotten Tomato meter. No one enjoyed this. I'm guessing the audience score was a little higher, but yeah, no one enjoyed this. But I love Max Steel, and it sucks that because this film didn't realize its potential, we won't see Max Steel on the big screen again. See, I didn't even know about a Max Steel film. Then the final battle, once again, the final battle was good, but it took a while to get there, and the dark part, like I said in part 1, Spill.com, I had to I don't know, and then like I said, going back to the storyline, the storyline features Josh McGarth moving to a neighborhood he doesn't want to be in. Who's been moving from neighborhood to neighborhood, is a loner, doesn't open up to anybody. One day he comes into contact with Steel, and they have a bizarre relationship. There's this girl who he keeps putting off, who keeps trying to help and be friendly towards him. I can relate to this. And he's also tracked by the government. He's also being tracked by a military who at first was supposed to help him, but later Andy Garcia's character got a hold. Andy Garcia's character, the main antagonist of the film, he got a hold of him. Now those military serve him. So Max Steel, after eluding a gigantic tornado, finds himself in the final battle with Claw, and is unable to defeat him. So he has to overload the suit, which appears to destroy Claw, and he's rescued by his mom in the military at the end, and he reconciles with that girl at the end, and it sets up a sequel that will not happen because this film was Snoresville. I'm a huge Max Steel fan, so I like it despite what you call it. I would give it a 4 out of 10 and 11. 4 out of 10 and 11, and the double toasted Spill.com inspired ratings. You know, they have their ratings. If it pushes the boundaries of cinema, better than sex. if it's a great movie if it's a great movie, if it's a super awesome movie, this is the most common one it gets. Full price, see it at full price. If it's great but don't pay full price for it, matinee. And there are different levels of the matinee. Low, mid, low and high matinee. Then if it's good but not good enough to see in theaters, rental. If it's terrible with very few redeemable qualities for it, some old BS. And if it is the worst thing they've ever seen with no redeemable qualities, an FU. And I gotta give this, like I said, the biased Max Steel movie, give this a low rental. Don't pay money to see that. Don't pay money to see this. Watch it for free online, like I did. Home media, yeah, low rental. But if I had to be fair as a critic, high. Some old bullshit, some old BS, man. But like I said, look, for my entertainment as a Max Steel fan, low rental, because they at least got Max Steel, Josh McGarthan Steel right. Yeah, which is more I can say for films like The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, but this was terrible and almost makes the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 look good. I would put this higher, dude. I still put this higher than the Amazing Spider-Man films because I'm a biased fan of Max Steel, and they got Max Steel right. And when there was action, it was at least good. It's just too dark and you couldn't see anything. So yeah, this was my part 2 off-camera real-life superhero rant on Max Steel. To see the short part 1 narration, the link will be in the description box below. You don't hear the rest of the music. Oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, the Blue Beetle movie, which I still haven't seen yet, which I can't wait to watch. That looks to be the real Max Steel movie. The Blue Beetle movie. I didn't mention that in part 1, but yeah, the DCU Blue Beetle movie. One of the final DCU films was the real Max Steel. So yeah, you don't want to hear the rest of the music and see the rest of my mannerisms? Turn the video off right now.
To the